All right, so I'm going to do things a little different than what I've been doing. Before this, I was kind of talking about my experiences and, things that have happened to me and the way things have gone for me and the way I perceive things. This video is more of an opinion video. It's something that I think is important in the world. I think there's people on both sides of this that refuse to give any, and I think it's causing a lot of problems for our young men, and I think it's something that we need to address as a society and come to a common ground. Now, like I always said, look, I don't care if you hate me, it doesn't make a fuck to me. I probably don't. If you hate me, I don't even know you. So keep the negative shit to yourself. You want to have a calm, collect discussion, man. I'm all about talking. I'm all about hearing points. Calling names is not a way to get things across. So if you want to talk to me, man, talk to me as an adult. Talk to me as a man. There's no reason to be hateful. There's no reason to be spiteful. This is just my opinion. Okay. So let's keep it civil. But what I really want to talk about today is I want to talk about masculinity versus toxic masculinity. I'm 40 years old, so I come from a different time. I'm not a millennial. I was born. I went through I was raised through the 80s and the 90s, and I saw all of that whole Generation X thing. What I don't like now is how we are trying to demale the male. Men and women are not equal. Men are men and women are women. There are things men can do that women cannot do. There are jobs that are specifically made for men. Now, that does not mean that a woman cannot do certain jobs. Okay? Because there are men that cannot do certain jobs. Okay? I'm not saying that all women should be secretaries and nurses. And I'm not saying that all men should be carpenters and bricklayers. There are exceptions to every rule. There are people who can do those jobs. But as a whole, there are not always, everyone cannot do every job. Okay, so we need to stop this. Well, it's equal. Hey, look, if you do the same job as me, you should get the same pay as me. I completely agree with that. I don't care if you're man, woman, black, brown. It doesn't matter. If you're doing my job, the same job that I'm doing, then you should be paid the same living wage that I'm paid. Okay, so let's take that off the table. But what I don't want to see any more of is devaluing the male role in society. We as men should still be men. We should learn how to work with our hands. That doesn't mean our daughters can't work with our hands. That doesn't mean that men can't learn to sew. Okay? That doesn't mean that men shouldn't do laundry or change diapers or, wash the house, clean the house. Men should be able to do all of that stuff too. Women should be able to change their oil, change their tires. They should be able to do all of the stuff that men can do on that aspect. It's fine to teach your daughters. Your daughters should learn to hunt. Your daughters should learn how to shoot. Okay? And your son should learn how to take care of himself. He should learn how to cook. Those aren't just women's essentials. That's life essentials. Eating, cleaning. Those are things that everybody should know how to do. Your vehicle, you should know how to do stuff like that. Everyone, because everyone's got a vehicle. You shouldn't have to depend on somebody to do those things. But a man should do certain things. Okay? A man should always open the door for his woman. Okay? Or any woman. A man should always give up his seat to a woman. To an elderly person. Okay? That's just how it's supposed to be. That's how we were raised since we were kids. And I say we as in my generation, the generation before mine, they were, I mean, shit, some people were beaten if they didn't do that kind of stuff. Men should go to work. Okay? Men should work hard for their money. Men should do things for their wives too. You know, they should take them out. They should open the doors. They should open the car doors. They should buy flowers. They should do all that stuff. That's masculinity. That's what men should do. Okay? Men, being masculine doesn't mean you degrade someone else. Being a man means you take care of your family. Being masculine means you stand up for what's right. You don't do things that you shouldn't do just because you can. Okay? And I'm not talking biblical and Bible stuff, and I'm not talking church. I'm just talking a man should be a good person. There is nothing wrong with being a good person. There's also nothing wrong with taking no shit. Okay? A man should live and die for his family. Okay? You fight for what you believe in, but you shouldn't start a fight. You shouldn't have to go and pick a fight to prove that you're a bigger man. That's where the toxic masculinity comes in. That's where I'm a man and that guy, I think I can whoop his ass, so I'm gonna whoop his ass. Man, that's a bitch. Okay? All men are not created equal. Some guys can't fight. Some guys don't want to fight. People who cannot defend themselves rarely put themselves in situations where they have to. People who cannot defend themselves, what the society calls weak people, they're not looking for trouble. Okay, so if they find trouble, it's because somebody else went out of their way to put them in that situation. So if you say, man, you should learn how to throw hands, and that's great, but some people just can't fight. Some people don't understand the basics. Okay? I mean, that's like me saying to you, man, computers ruling the world. You need to learn how to run a computer. Some people just can't do it. It just doesn't happen. Everybody can't do everything. So for you to take, as a man, to take on a challenge of somebody else, especially somebody you know whose ass you could whoop, and you don't really need to whoop their ass, that's fucked up. That's toxic. For you to abuse a woman, that's toxic masculinity. For you to put a woman down for any reason, that's toxic. And that's what the world don't need. We don't need to pick on people just because we can. We don't need to fuck with people for no reason. We don't need to assault people just because. That's what's wrong with America. And then on the opposite side is we're trying to devalue all men and take away all others. We don't need men. We need men. Hey, look, and if you want to cry, cry. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with it. If you having a bad day, you having a bad day. Men have bad days. Okay? Men have problems. Men have issues. Men, that it doesn't mean that you're not masculine. It doesn't mean that you're not a man. It just means you got a fucking problem. Everybody got a fucking problem every now and then. So for us to try to take all of this out and that men are what's wrong. Men are not what's wrong with the world. Okay? I mean, they goddamn sure ain't helping all that much all the time. Sometimes they do some dumb shit, and then even I'm scratching my head going, why would men do that? Why would you say that? It happens. Okay? I do believe that there are some things that we could change. I mean, the sexist nature of a lot of things that we were taught is not okay. The boys will be boys is not an acceptable thing. If you got a boy, if you got a son and he's picking on a little girl, that's wrong. Okay? If he's running around grabbing girls' asses because he's a boy, that's wrong. You're teaching your kids wrong. Okay? It's not okay. I got a son and a daughter. I don't want my son running around grabbing little girls' asses, and I don't want my daughter running around getting her ass grabbed because boys will be boys. Okay, we need to stop that rape culture that we do have. And there is a rape culture, and that is part of that toxic masculinity, that men are, they're owed a woman. They deserve this. Women, no, we don't deserve shit. We deserve what we're given, not what we take. Okay? This is my opinion on it. I think masculinity is very important. Don't misread this. Because I think men should still be men, and they should still do the things that our fathers, our grandfathers, our great-grandfathers did. I do. But I also know we live in a different world too. Okay? My grandfather could never imagine paying $3 or $4 a gallon for gas. Okay? He could never imagine going to the store and filling up his cart and walking out with $300 worth of groceries. Okay, times are different, money's different. I mean, I know very few people who live a very full life on a one-person income. You need two people to live, unless unless you're a professional, a doctor, a lawyer, somebody that's really doing well for themselves. It's hard. It's hard for the middle-class America, and it's even harder for low-class America. They struggling. And I know everybody, just like I said, everybody can't do everything. Everybody can't be CEO. If everybody was the CEO, then you wouldn't have no workers. And I get that. But we have to adjust with the times. Okay, we can't, you can't talk to your women just any kind of way. You can't smack your woman around. You can't teach your sons that that's okay. You can't teach your sons that it's okay to pick on the kid that sits in the corner by himself. Okay? These people got mental issues. People are shooting up schools. That's part of that toxic masculinity. You push the little kid over there in the corner only so far before he snaps. Okay? Let's teach our kids to befriend those guys. Man, hey, look, I don't like everybody. Everybody don't like me. But that don't mean you gotta be shitty to a person just because they're a little different. I mean, everybody doesn't fit in with everybody, but that doesn't mean you gotta make somebody feel less to make yourself feel more. Let's build each other up instead of tearing each other down. Let's spend more time including somebody, even if they ain't good at it. Who cares? Include somebody, man. If they're a little weird and you don't like them, be like, man, that's cool. Just you do you, but there's no reason to go out of your way to make somebody feel bad. If going out of your way to make somebody else feel bad about themselves, and that's what makes you feel good about yourself, you need to reevaluate your life, okay? Because you're the one that has the fucking problem. So I'm going to leave it on that. Like I say, don't take this the wrong way. I think masculinity and I think men need to be men. But I also think we need to reevaluate what we consider to be important and help each other grow and build each other up, man. We are not in competition with each other, because at the end of the day, we all gonna die. Every one of us gonna be dead. Man, woman, doesn't matter. Popular kid, nerdy kid, crazy kid, super smart kid. We will all die. We're all going to fit in that same little box, in that same little hole, in this same little earth. So, let's take a little time to build each other up and stop tearing each other down. That's all I got to say. Thank you for watching.